There it is. There's the go live button. Hello. Welcome to Fast Food Thursday.
Hey, how's it going, bros?
My name
Hi,
is Joe
Barbarian.
Trident. Fucking yeah. This is the number one top hit song in the UK right now, right? Prince Andrew is a sweaty nonce
Yes,
by the
it
cunts.
jumped. The funniest thing, it jumped through the rankings just before the Jubilee, which is
That's pretty good. That is actually pretty good.
it is.
That is very cool. As I was watching the German news yesterday, and I they were talking about basically people in London camping out to see the Queen at the Jubilee, like camping out on the Thames and shit, and
Mhm.
they were talking about how they interviewed like this British woman. They're clearly like,
Yeah.
oh yes, oh, she has given us 70 years of service, and I would like to pay my respects. And then the next person they interview, who's already camping out, is also an old lady, but she just is American. Like, they don't mention this. I know this only because of the accent. She's like, yeah, and I think that the more people are here, the more she's gonna feel the warmth, you know? It's like, you fundamentally do not understand English culture, my man. You just have no
My man,
fucking
Burger,
idea.
are you being sexist? Are you being sexist
I'm
right now?
being
How dare
anti-American,
you?
dude. That's the.
How dare
Honestly, that
you?
sounded more
Look,
Canadian to
as
me.
long as you agree that California deserves to be sunk to the bottom of the ocean, I can vibe with it.
Aren't you a California?
Yes.
Look, the thing that I do is I judge any state by the landscape, and
I
I
see.
like California. But then, to be fair, I like pretty much all of the states because
You're
there's
gonna like California up until you visit the big cities, I can promise you that.
yeah, but then I just don't do that, and I
Fair
I
enough.
feel like, especially in the United States, if I go to any of the big cities, I'll hate the states.
Yeah,
Hmm.
probably. Yeah, so
Except for
before the
maybe
show,
New Orleans, which I have idealized to a very significant extent in my head, and I believe
Oh,
to be the
Burger,
best and most desirable city to inhabit in the entire planet.
if you end
Yes.
up getting
Burger.
hit with Paris syndrome when you visit New Orleans, I'm gonna laugh my
I
ass.
100%. I'm gonna. You know how like people go to Jerusalem and they think they're Jesus. I'm gonna have that, but I'm gonna think I'm like Louis Armstrong.
Yeah,
Lol.
brother.
Oh,
Burger,
I'm
I've got.
gonna watch a Bourbon Street. Fucking.
Don't fucking do that. You will fucking die, I'm sure. But I've got kind of.
Just steal someone's fucking Trump. Just put coins in my mouth and go, I'm chancellor, motherfucker. Fucking.
But so the thing is
Yeah,
with
yeah,
um, fuck. So I have a neighbor. Well, my parents have a neighbor.
yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name, but he's
His name
kind
is
of
Peter Dupont. That's his
n-
name.
no, he's full British, but he doesn't live in the apartments next door, right? It's
Yeah,
completely empty. This apartment has been completely empty for 2 years now. He's rented it for a year, left it empty for two, and now he wants other people to rent
yeah,
again. And he hasn't rented that apartment before for like 20 years.
yeah.
20 years before like the last time he rented it. He has not paid his taxes. He lives in Belgium and he refuses to do anything. Like he won't hire people to clean his garden. He won't hire people to look at the flat. Especially now since new rentees are coming in, apparently. He will do nothing with this.
I feel
Yeah.
like the worst thing
And
about this is
no,
that
no, no,
he
no. There's
lives
the
in
worst part.
Belgium.
Since he hasn't paid taxes, especially considering there's a council tax, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a council tax in Germany, if I'm correct.
I
It
don't
might.
know. That you do pay taxes to the commune that you live in.
Yeah, something along those lines. But for us, it's since I'm in a communal garden, so like a closed-gated community with a garden.
Of
Um,
course.
that's because I'm a fucking posh kid.
Of course, you live in a gated community.
Well, it's
It
not
doesn't sound
necessarily a
like a
gated community. It's
commune.
like a community in the streets, but the garden itself, which is communal,
Yeah.
is gated.
Yeah.
So technically a semi-gated community. But regardless of that, neighbor who hasn't paid his tax to the community, because there's a community tax here to maintain the garden, right? Since
Yeah.
everybody can use that garden. People will come in to his rentees and take away their stuff for the taxes he hasn't paid. And I'm just like, how the fuck will the courts not fucking go after this cunt in Belgium? It's like, wow, it's only like, I don't know, 250,000 quid he hasn't paid in tax. Oh, no, it's far more. It's far more. I'm getting the numbers mixed up, but it's an exorbitant amount of money that he hasn't paid. And for some reason, his rentees are getting hit. Because apparently that's the only way we can send a message. And even then, he doesn't do jack shit.
Sounds like a cringe
There's
lord.
only one thing I have to
He
say to this.
He is. And
Lamau.
our
I
theory is
get it,
that he's
'cause
just
of
like completely
Mao,
lost it.
Mao Zedong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's
So
the guy
right
is the
when-
landlord, and his
Yeah.
So right before the stream started, I was talking about the rabbit hole of extremist Peruvian politics.
Oh yes,
no.
yeah, the ancient aliens thing, which I know you said that it doesn't include, but you have to now include it in the way that you talk about it. I insist.
I'll just bring up Posadism at some point. Anyway, we're gonna start off strong. These guys are part of an ideology called ethnocacerism.
Oh yes, I already love this.
Just they are basically native. They are basically native Peruvian Nazis.
Oh boy.
It's like, let's see, like this is the flag that they use the most. Apparently, it's like a dual flag thing, and like I think there's like a quote from here that's the best I can sum it up here. Let's see.
We are gay, but in a very fractured way, and also we are Nazis, but we have a lot more angles that we.
All right, so ideology. Straight from the Wikipedia article, the movement has been described as having fascist traits. It's with vice-summarizing ethnocacerism as an idiosyncratic mix of economic populism, xenophobia, especially towards Peru's southern neighbor of Chile, and mythologizing the supposed racial supremacy of copper-skinned Andeans. It also takes an old-school Machista view of women's rights, while Isaac
What does that mean? The
Machista. Machista. It's machismo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. While Isaac Humela, the leader of the group, called for the summary shooting of homosexuals and corrupt officials. The movement's newspaper, Olanta, later named Antaro, according to Harper's Magazine, was where anti-Semitic, anti-Chilean news ran alongside xenophobic editorials.
Oh boy, that sounds just great.
Yeah, they sound very cool and very people that I really want to not talk to ever.
One of their more prominent policies is to call for 1/4 of all Chilean children to be militarized as state conscripts.
Of course.
Literally,
so these are basically like they do racial supremacy shit, but to them the master race is a specific group of people who live in the Andes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that.
And they also had like an internal civil war thing with the Peruvian Communist Party, which this is going to be some Disco Elysium shit. They are called the Shining Path.
Very normal thing to call your party.
Yeah, very, very normal.
It's not like red flag raising at all.
Yeah,
certainly.
It's like one of the main things that Actually, both the Shining Path and ethnocacerism is based around is something called anti-Fujimorism.
Oh yeah,
Which
I know
is
about
just-
this. I know about this because Fujimori was this Japanese guy who lived. Was this in Peru? Was he
Yeah.
in Peru? Wasn't he in the other
He was the
one?
president of Peru.
Wasn't he? I thought I somehow had him filed under Chile or some other South American country. But yeah, he's like a kind of a bad guy. It's like a far right ass motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's yeah. Although granted, ethnocacerism is weird in that it's kind of right on the edge of the Nazbol thing. So
Yeah.
Jesus.
like Chilean politics and South American politics in general just gets more and more whack the further down you look at it. It's great. Just
It's the US, but like with less rules. Like with the US, if the Civil War had been a constant thing for the entire existence of the US.
yeah.
The US, if it was controlled by a small group of extremely wealthy criminal oligarchs
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
you want to know like the
that
cream-
manufacture narcotics.
Okay, you want to know the
Addicted
something that's just like
population.
the cream of the crop that makes it you can't take these guys seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
So their like mythological hero figure, right, is this guy from like way back in the day. I think like around the time, like a little bit after the time of Simon Bolivar,
yeah.
who was a Peruvian freedom fighter, and his name is Tupac Amaru.
Oh my god.
You've got to be joking.
No, I'm serious. The guy's name is literally.
We found him. We found Tupac. We found him. He's alive, boys.
Well, no, he's
Yes,
dead in the
Tupac
mythology
Amaru.
of these guys too. So
Well, yeah, he's dead. He was a real person. Like I just
Damn
threw up the thing. His name is literally Tupac Amaru II.
yeah, as
Like,
opposed to Tupac Shakur, who was not a real person. He didn't exist. They made him up so Biggie could have someone to beef with.
yeah, pretty.
Yeah. Well, he sounds
Boy.
cool.
But
Yeah, these fucking guys are like, well, this is we're gonna be racist because of this guy.
Ooh.
We're gonna be racist. I fucking could have sworn that Fujimori was in Chile. I am really fucking irritated about this.
Like I'm gonna double check just to be.
I would have put money. I mean, to be fair, yeah.
Like the dude is from Peru. Like
I must have had something mixed up. My wires must have been crossed somehow then. Yeah, because I do know about, because there was an election in the country where Fujimori was a thing recently, and it was a big deal because there was some fucking tensions and violence, and the socialist guy won, and the socialist guy is so socialist that he's somehow been associated with like death squads.
Oh yeah, Evo
Supposedly,
Morales,
yes.
right? Ironically, like if I remember right, that you're talking about Evo Morales, right?
I do believe so. Yes, is he in Peru also?
Ironically, yes, and believe
Okay,
it or
so
not,
all of that
the
was in Peru that I had filed under Chile. Okay.
yes, and the even funnier part is ethnocaceres actually support Morales.
Oh my god! But they're but they're Nazi. What?
Yeah,
you know what?
They,
It's South American politics. I don't even.
they also decried the military coup against him as, I shit you not, fascist and neo-colonialist.
There was a military coup
Oh,
against
no.
Evo Morales.
Yeah.
When
Let me double check. I think it was in 2019.
did I? Oh, so it's but like he got reelected.
Let's see, territorial views. Yeah, 2019.
But why am I recently remembering elections? There.
Probably because you haven't had a reason to think
Peru
about this shit.
elections. No, there was in 2021, in April 2021. Ah, yeah, okay. So there's a different guy called Pedro Castillo, and he is
Pedro
currently
Castillo.
the boss. Yeah, and his opponent was Keiko Fujimori, who is the daughter of the OG Fujimori, the guy. And so is Pedro Castillo also a guy who has ties to death squads?
Probably.
I would not be surprised.
I mean, it's the United States, but instead of the police, they have like right-wing death squads that aren't really there to provide security to the population, but like push the political interests of extremist group and sort of create a police state by being hyper-militarized. You know, that like a version of the US that isn't like the US.
Yeah, it's basically
that would
like
explain a
White
lot.
except the left wing also has death squads, and everybody's just killing each other. It's great.
Yeah, brother.
Hickey Bruce.
So during an internal conflict in Peru, the government described individuals on the political spectrum as being a threat to the nation. And apparently he was one of those people. Okay, that doesn't say that he was. Okay, so in the Wikipedia page, as far as I can see, he's not immediately. I might not be able to read between the lines, but he doesn't seem to be immediately affiliated with right-wing death squads. With left-wing death squads, I'm sorry. But yeah, this kind of, honestly, this is what happens, though. Like, I've been thinking about this more and more. Wait, hang on. During the internal conflict of Peru in the 80s, Castillo worked in his youth as a patrolman at the Ronda Campesina to defend against the Shining Path. Which is also, this is the Communist Party you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So technically,
Jesus.
he was a member of a right-wing death squad.
Jesus
Well, no, but
fucking
he's
Christ,
he's like a hardcore like he's the Marxist Free Peru Party. Founded in 2008. It might have been a This is fun. This is so. Their fucking symbol is a pencil, dude.
Yeah.
This is.
Why though?
And the Keiko Fujimori's fucking symbol is just a K. Which is just. I cannot, dude.
Fucking hell.
But this is basically
South
what
American
happens.
politics are fucking wild, man.
This is basically what happens. When you have this kind of fucking inequality for such a long period of time, people, and like the wealth disparity, the rich sucking up more of the shit, people will like ask you nicely to relinquish some of your immense wealth. And then you will like double down and try to destroy those people. And then they will ask a little bit more insistently. And you will declare them enemies of the state. You will try to use your political connections to do this. And if you're in South America, you'll probably succeed. And then eventually they're going to form death squads that try to shoot you in the fucking head. It's like, oh, I'm so persecuted for being an evil capitalist. It's like, this is
That was your own fault, buddy.
continue escalating.
And then sometimes you got people that said it a bit further, like, "Hey, let's kill everyone except the native population." That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Wait, who's that apply to in the United States?
Oh, this isn't the United States.
We're in Peru currently. We're on about Peru.
Oh, Peru's having a genocide?
I mean, no, but there's guys who want one.
We were talking about the ideology of ethnocacerism, which is basically Peruvian Nazis.
But they're not like white people Nazis. They're like Andean Native American Nazis.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen memes of that from where it's like they're soy jacks or like conquistadors or something.
Yeah, they're basically just like Andean Nazgûls. It's great. It is just the funniest shit.
Is that Kashi? Is that pan cast iron?
I don't know.
Well,
Doesn't
find the
tell me.
fuck out.
I don't know. Looks like probably not. No,
Well, then
just by the way it looks.
It's kind of red, though. That might be the blood from smashing heads in with the.
No, it's supposed to be red, or it usually is red.
Is that a normal thing that you have like just red pans?
Yeah, if they're not like cast iron, yeah.
Oh boy.
Does he
Kinda
have a
like-
child's face on his backpack?
No, that's
No,
the
that's a
mascot of the
dog.
game.
Okay.
No, it's
Okay,
actually a
it's-
raccoon.
What the hell is
Okay,
happening?
so here's some more shit in the article that's great. Territorial views.
Yeah.
Following infamous rejection of Peruvian nationalism, Amparo Humala has pronounced himself against Peru's borders as colonial impositions trace back to Spanish colonization. As a common slogan of his ethnic nationalism, is the Peruvian nationalism wants to reclaim the word Peru, while his ethnic nationalism wants to reclaim the concept of Habatsuya, the Chekwa word for Inca Empire. Okay,
The
Because,
Inca Empire was pretty based, though. I like, as far as empires go, they were fucking cool. I like them.
yeah.
Yeah, they
so
were up in the mountains.
because-
They were.
They did a lot of
Because-
socialism.
I'm just trying to remember what the Incas did again. So like they built
Because, quote, as an ethnic nationalist, I cannot respect Criollo borders because when I reclaim whatever the fuck the word is, I can't pronounce it, my ancestral homeland encompasses Argentina all the way to Colombia. We are a single people disseminated amongst various Criollo states. Just-
Yeah.
Damn.
So instead of doing what Bolivia is doing, they want to do the complete opposite of what Bolivia is doing. But under like that, I mean, well, because like Bolivia is like doing like an indigenous socialism, and he wants to do like indigenous.
Evo Morales is the president of fucking Bolivia, not fucking. Was at no point the president of Peru.
Weird.
No,
It's
no,
like it's-
no.
No, this is. I was talking. This. The name Evo Morales came up. We've been getting very confused about a lot of things.
Okay, so it said that they did support him.
Yeah.
I guess I misunderstood that. That was my bad. It's like they did support Evo Morales, and they were like fervently against like the military coup that happened. And
Yeah.
against him.
Which I mean, you would be because he's like a democratically elected guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The was like completely illegal.
A guy
I
that I like is fucking the former president of Uruguay, El Pepe. You don't
El
hear
Pepe.
shit about him. He's super relaxed. He's like a
Oh
socialist.
yeah, he
Yeah.
Yeah, he drives around in like a 1973 like VW Beetle. Like that's the car he drives in.
He does like farming he just lives on a farm and does actual farming with an ancient tractor.
Oh, yeah.
He spent like 30 years or so in prison. Like it's fucking he's great.
insane, ain't it?
He's great.
Yeah.
El
I mean,
Pepe.
to be fair, like the whole bit of them supporting Evo Morales thing, though, you got to remember these are the weird kind of fascists where they're anti-capitalist as well. So you've got the they're
A lot of fascists claim to be anti-capitalist, but they're not really.
yeah, that's true. I mean,
But
But
granted,
I get what you mean. Yeah, they're more like in the Nazbol type area.
It's more just they want everything to be run by the state for one.
Well,
people,
which is
so-
kind of those are like the broad coalition of Nazis. They are always like part of the team. This was the same in like Nazi Germany too, but ultimately they don't win because
because
the
they're
rich
rich
people
by
don't
knowledge.
want them there, and they like fucking have them executed and have the more capitalist Nazis take over.
Yeah, it's really fringe stuff. It's kind of the same. It's kind of like how when in during a lot of revolutions when communists take over, anarchists usually get the fucking
Yeah, they're counter-revolutionaries.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this counter-revolutionaries bullshit. The idea of counter-revolutionaries, honestly, is one of the main reasons why socialism generally descends into an authoritarian bullshit state. Like, it's always the excuse ideologically of the guy who just wants all the power.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, excuse me, you want democracy? But if there was democracy, then counter-revolutionary forces could just undermine the will of the people by voting against the will of the people, which is represented by the party. Oh, looks like you're a fucking counter-revolutionary, and I'm gonna have to send you to the motherfucking gulag. This is how Stalin talked, by the way. This is a very little-known historical fact.
He talk like a fucking mafioso. Hey, Tony.
No, I think that's I watched The Death of Stalin. He has a Cockney accent.
I love this. Is honestly one of my favorite films. Just because I love the thing that they let all the actors keep their native accent, because it has a lot of verisimilitude to the way that it actually would have been. Because in the context of Russian, all of these different people would have had very different Russian accents. Like, Stalin wasn't Russian, he was from Georgia. And Khrushchev was from fucking Ukraine. Yeah.
God, now I'm thinking like people from Ukraine sounding like they're from like now I'm thinking of like people from Ukraine sound like they're from New Jersey.
Hey!
Hey!
They're fucking invading our country over here. We need some fucking big guns.
No, you asshole.
Well, all the
No, you fucking asshole. God damn it.
What is it?
So
Are you
just
being raped by your cat?
Hey,
No,
so
it's something else. Yeah,
So
it's
it's
just
pretty,
very painful. It's painful.
I
Tis
guess.
pain I
speaking
feel
of
right
pain,
now. Tis pain. Right, well, I guess that invasion plan just gets fucked out right the window.
Do you want to elaborate
Fuck
or just
you.
continue
No, just
vaguely
scream, just
complaining
scream.
about things that we don't understand?
No, it's just so I'm playing a grand strategy game. I was planning on taking a settlement, and then the asshole right next to me decided, hey, since I'm at war with this guy that you're planning on going to war with, how about I liberate the settlement and make it another faction entirely that's allied to me?
That's pretty cool, dude.
And no, it's not. I was
Speaking
planning
of
on taking
pain,
that settlement.
Speaking of pain, I fell down the flight of stairs over the weekend.
That's nasty.
Yeah,
Are you okay?
I skinned the shit out of my knee. My one foot. Apparently, what happened was that the staircase was wet, and my ankle rolled because my foot slipped, and then I just went tumbling down the stairs, skinned the shit out of my knee, and looking back on it, it's like I'm honestly glad I didn't have to go to the fucking hospital.
Well,
That sounds messed up, dude. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. My foot was sore for a couple days, and my knee will be fine.
I'm glad you don't have any shit in your knee anymore.
Yeah, that's smelly.
Oh, yeah. But like, no, it's like I'm at that, I'm at the age where it's like I can't just do that, and it's like the shit that happened all the time when I was a kid. It's like I could die from that now.
Yeah, that shit is scary.
Yeah, you gotta stay fit and healthy, and even then, eventually, it's gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about something that's a little more fun. I don't want to contemplate my own mortality. I posted this earlier. There's this AI called Doll A2. And literally, this is the kind of shit that it makes. This is the prompt. You literally gave it this text prompt, and it made this.
Oh, that's really good.
Yes. This gets way better, right? So fucking. Boy. Okay, this one still kind of looks like it was drawn by an AI, but you kind of feel it. But What the fuck?
Oh, I thought it made
Did
a
this-
meme.
Did this happen because you posted the meme, or why does what is different about this link? That this
hang on,
link
does
doesn't
Instagram have the
work.
same?
Ah, there it is.
Oh, there we go. It works.
It just needs forever to, yeah. This one, you
Yeah.
still, like, you look at it and you're like, this could have been drawn by a human, but it was probably drawn by an AI.
Yeah.
It looks more drawn by a human. Somebody posted this link.
Yeah. Like, if somebody told me that this was drawn by a person, or like an amateur comic book artist or something, I'd believe it.
This shit right here, this is the one that really fucks me up. And let's wait like 5 hours until the link actually properly fucking loads.
Yeah, until Discord renders a fucking Instagram link.
Yes.
I've been trying. I haven't been trying, but I've been watching people using an AI called Midjourney. I think it's
Yeah.
called Midjourney,
Yeah.
and it's used more for like Lovecraftian, like horror based work. And what they'll do is they'll type in a prompt, and they get like obviously an AI image. But then what people go is they'll go and they'll paint over the image to get what they want. So if like somebody wants to make like, the city of Innsmouth, it'll give them like a nice AI image prompt, and then they'll paint over it what the details and stuff, and it looks really, really good.
Uh-huh. It would be cool if we could see some examples. Much like it would be very cool if we could see an example of this. Why is Discord so fucking broken? Honestly, this is a bowl
It's
of
not
soup
that
that
Discord
looks
is broken.
Okay,
not
the
that
bowl
Discord
of
is
soup.
broken, yeah.
that looks like
The
a
bowl of soup.
the bowl of soup that looks like a monster. This is really good.
Oh, it looks really cool. Yeah.
It has this.
Yeah, that one.
The whole
Is
thing
this
has.
available just for people to use right now?
You can't use it yet because to deploy it in a way that is ethical, they are limiting access to it, which is the biggest pile of bullshit. Yeah, I really just want to keep this shit closed up for the general public because this actually could. I would prefer this be in the hands of a big corporation.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah. Midjourney is the
I
same
could
way.
see an argument for this because you know that people are going to use this for like some shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
that's
for
gonna
sure.
happen anyway. Like this, literally, that is just going to happen.
It is. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Discord, come on, Discord. Don't be rude. There we go. This one is fucking sick.
Yeah.
It really understands. Like, it even has a fucking tail. Incredible.
Oh damn, bro, that's
Incredible.
cool.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
cool.
Also,
Yeah.
just confirmed, burgers are furry.
Yes,
Yeah.
Birdshire.
Yeah.
I do remember his AI. Can we move him from patron VC to this VC?
Who?
Probably one of the mods. Yeah.
No, but why?
Okay.
Hang on, he's not a $20 patron though. You can see what are you talking about?
Well, he's a grand Patreon. Aren't grand Patrons like people who play
No.
more than 20?
No, it's more than
Or
10.
wait, isn't there? Oh, okay.
Like, it would be cool to do that, but that would be very unfair to all the other patrons.
It
That, like, pay the
literally
money.
shows him as one on the side though.
Does it say? Does he?
Yeah, Lord.
Rampage.
He doesn't
Lord
have, he
Farquaad.
doesn't have the FFT patrons role. If he I mean, if you are listening, contact me. And if that's something, if you have you should have that role because you're paying for that.
Well,
then
hang
it's
on,
the
I'll
bot that
ping
fucked
him.
up.
I'll
and
ping
we
him.
can fix that, but I need to know that that's the case. I can't like intuit that. But generally, the chat as such is just open to all patrons because I want them to be able to participate to a certain extent.
I mean, he's also in the patron VC as well.
Yeah, but
so
you
I
can get into
recently-
the patron VC if you're a patron. Any
Yeah, that is true.
That's why I made the studio
yeah.
booth.
Oh yeah, so I recently finished up that Shadowrun system I've been working on, or well, the first playtest version anyway.
Yeah, you violently dragged me into that server. You said, I will
Yes.
kill you if you don't come in here. And I'm like, damn. I very believe this very credible threat that you totally said.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I totally threatened to blow your goddamn head off. I'm just mostly trying to do like West Marches style so I can get as much like variety of testing in as possible. I'm just setting West Marches in Eureka, California. Calfrey. Yes. Like Northern Edge of Calfrey right along the Tangier border.
I'm not sure I entirely understand what you're talking about.
Basically, it's just like this little coastal town that's 100 miles away from the Oregon border.
Okay. Yeah, because I've not been able to properly look at it. It's been a very busy week, and I'm like leaving town tomorrow. I'm going to collect
Oh shit.
weekend.
Yeah. Understandable.
Oh boy.
Nice trip.
It's gonna be because now we have this the €9 ticket. So basically, right now I can use for the next 3 months. You can for €9 buy a ticket with which you can for the whole entire week. For the whole entire month, use all public transport in Germany.
Nice.
Damn, bro, that's fucking cool as shit.
All the trains only. You can't use the intercity express trains, but you can use the regional trains that go between cities.
I mean, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna be going. It'll be like an 8-hour journey, and I'll have a lot of like switches that I need to make at various stations. But it's I can like go through the whole country, and it's not even really €9 that it costs me because I can do that for the whole month of those €9. Below, okay.
Really need to sell that city.
Yeah, you've got the FFT patron roll now.
Yeah, does he have it? Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on in then.
Come on in, brother.
That's a fucking Patreon moment, dude. Why didn't you say anything, my man? You're supposed to be in here with the cool kids.
With the cool
brother.
People.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Friggin' gamers.
I don't know what's wrong with Patreon. This is the second time it's done this for me.
How dare Patreon do this?
I wonder if it's something similar to what I was having issues with a while back.
I don't remember this. But to be fair, I don't remember most things, so it could be very reasonable thing that happened.
I don't know.
It's 800.
Oh, hey,
I don't know, did the Patreon like try and charge you and it didn't go through or something?
No, it's gone through. I know for a fact that I have enough money for it, so it's just like last time I tried to subscribe to someone at their second highest tier, it put me at the third highest tier for some reason. And then I had to manually go update it.
Yeah, that's
fucked up.
It's still better than literally every other service that does this kind of thing, which is why I use Patreon. It does work. But, there's not that many other services that do this kind of thing, and as it always works with Big Ten, this monopolization eventually leads to yeah, but we don't really give a shit if the service actually, works.
We just want the money.
Yeah, what are you gonna go to to what competition? Well, because their service works even worse than ours.
You could try bringing them to court via kind of I guess.
Oh, holy shit! There's I'm reading this right now. For fuck's sake, dude. There is apparently my landlord corporation wanted to raise the rent because of inflation. And the the renters association was like, nah, you do not get to do that. You literally cannot legally do this.
Nice.
This is a fun situation that's going on in my apartment building and has for a long time. I try to take a shower, barely any water comes out. It is a very, very weak trickle of water, which is a problem because I have quite dense hair and I need good water pressure to properly clean it in like less than 20 minutes.
Fair.
What I do, however, still have, even though there is extremely low water pressure, is significant swings in water pressure and significant swings in water temperature, which has been the case for a while because the main problem that this building has, and has had for a few years, is cold water pressure. It's just not there. Whenever anyone in the house conceptualizes of the idea of water, the cold water pressure goes down by like 1 trillion bars.
Damn, bro. That sucks.
But the hot water pressure is always on point, and the hot water in this house is like hot. It is hot. Like you will get burns. So what would always happen is that you would stand under the shower, and then suddenly out of nowhere, you were at a pretty comfortable temperature, but then suddenly out of nowhere, the temperature of the water would spike by like 40 degrees Celsius, and you would be scalded with immensely hot water being blasted at you. That's just something that would happen.
Buddy.
Oh, so kind of like when you see in the movies where they flush the toilets and just everyone inside the shower just gets burnt.
Mm-hmm. That, except it's a huge apartment building, and anyone has to even just think about flushing the toilet.
Fair enough.
So that happened. So what they started doing, because it's not like legal to have this be a thing, you can very, very powerfully sue them for this if something bad happens to you. They're responsible for making sure the water pressure works. What they started doing, instead of, putting in a new pumping system that has been in need of overhaul for a long time, people who complain about this, they put in like a machine into the shower. And the machine regulates the water temperature by making sure this like sudden spike of 40 degrees cannot happen. And the way it does this is by just turning off the tap. So what in practical terms happens is that instead of there being like a huge spike in heat, you just stop having water in the shower, which is less dangerous, but also kind of defeats the point of having a shower in the first place. Now, I haven't yet complained about this because I knew this was happening. The thing about these machines is also that they take a massive drag on the general water pressure in the system. They are in no way coordinated. They are constantly, as more and more neighbors get them, they are constantly working against each other to like drop the water pressure all over the building. Now, what we also have is Legionella, which is a bacterium that is in the pipes, and it's a problem.
Legionnaire's disease?
Yes, you could get Legionnaire's disease from it.
Okay.
If like the water is finely misted and you breathe it in, and you're like weak and shit. Like I've been breathing in this water for many years. I've never had a problem. But if like my elderly neighbor did, he might get the disease, and it can be lethal.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And they have not been able, after I've lived here for 7 years, and they haven't been able to get it under control in that entire time. The numbers have just risen. It's just been getting worse. And so what they had to do was put in a filtration system. Except, of course, they didn't put it in a filtration system, because if you put it in a filtration system, you'd have to put in a new pump, basically. You have to exchange the whole thing. So what they do is they install filters on our end, in the showers. But they don't put in the good ones, that are basically like shower heads that are inside lined with colloidal silver to like sterilize the water. They just give the cheap ones that you need to switch out very often because they have like filters in them. this is a problem because these, once again, drastically reduce water pressure. And what we also have in this building is 90% of the water is 90% limestone. Literally. Like, this is some of the hardest water that I've ever seen anywhere. Yeah.
That sucks. That
Yeah,
really
we got
sucks.
hard water as well. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's like, I cleaned the bathroom with, like, fucking citric acid for several, and it's all limestone again. It's all back.
When you're done, I got a story about hard water.
Instead of, you're supposed to switch those as every 3 months, they do it every 4 months to save money. And in our house, where you have high limestone, you basically need to switch them out every month and a half, actually. Because they will just clog up with limestone and no water's going to come out of it. So these days, if I am lucky, I am getting a trickle of water out of it. But because it is legal to have extremely low water pressure, so long as it is not dangerous, they do not care. Yeah, that's it. That's basically my life.
That is
sounds very American.
Behavior.
Yeah, sounds very American.
I mean, this is like a big corporate landlord. Berlin is trying to. There was a fucking, what do you call it? A referendum, like a direct action by the people thing, vote in the state government to use eminent domain on them. But that may or may not be going through. Probably not. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, so my story with hard water is that the Northern Plains, it's all like South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska. It's all hard water. It's like the only way you can get soft water is if you actually install a system that puts salt into the water to soften it up.
Yeah.
You know, there's like, but in Iowa, there's a 50-mile wide like radius circle of villages and towns in Iowa that have like soft water ever. It's like they never have problems with hard water. But it's like it's in this massive region of hard water. There's just this one little spot, like 50 miles.
You are breaking
off
up,
water.
Man.
So
yeah, you're gone, bro. You're just.
I'm sorry.
Are you trucking? Are you on the road?
Yes. Yes, I'm trucking.
And those
the audio quality itself is very good for you being trucking. It's just breaking up quite a bit.
I'm sorry about that. Can you guys hear me now, or?
It's kind of
okay. I suppose
you are
progressively getting worse.
You are audible now. It's
gone,
not
bro.
ideal. So there's this spot they have like 50 miles where there's soft water. Please continue.
Okay, so the Mortality, which is a very boring department because not much happens in Iowa. They investigated it and found a massive crater from a meteor that struck there about 4 million years ago. And that's the only way they knew a meteor ever struck there was because this one spot has soft water.
Damn. I actually, by paying a lot of attention, I was able to piece that together as you talked about it. I feel very proud of myself and highly intelligent.
I can imagine.
This is quite the experience.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
So did you get anything?
Well, yeah. Because of the meteor impact, and they only found out about the meteor impact because they have soft water in that area. Yeah, he is trucking behind the moon. Godspeed, my man. Godspeed. Are you in a high school?
Real life big rigs.
I'm in some sort of school. I don't know if it's.
What are you playing, Goshi?
He's playing Project Zomboid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's a pretty nice game.
That's a really good one.
Access. No, fuck you.
So, Snick, you
understatement.
were not the Danish guy who came to the meetup, right? That was a different one.
Yeah, I was working that day, and I also do not have the money in this economy to spend that much money on gas to go to Germany.
Yes, but yeah. Apparently, in Denmark, you need to use the car to drive places. It's weird. I assume you had excellent trains.
No, we do have excellent trains, but the problem is train prices have gone up in the past couple of years as a result of people using trains less because it's become more affordable to use a car.
See, here they've gone up because they privatized the train company. I think it was the late 90s, early 2000s, they were like, yeah, we're just gonna do a neoliberalism and privatize the Deutsche Bahn. And so now
we've gone the best way of like a sort of mix of neoliberalism and, you know, like nationalizing with the state. So prices are set by the state, maintenance is paid for by the state, but any and all profits are going to the company running the trains.
Yeah, that's great. That's really fucking good, dude.
That is just it's the Danish government in a nutshell, right? The power grid, for an example, is owned by the Danish government, right?
Yeah.
It's the Danish state owns it. However, maintenance, all profits, maintenance is paid for by the state, but all profits is going to the power companies who are operating the system.
Incredible.
I know, and we had the best high-speed fiber that you could possibly have gotten in the Western world, right?
Yeah, a lot of bananas. A lot of bananas eaten. Best fiber.
Yeah, exactly. Owned by the state.
Yeah.
And then the state goes, hold on now, this is anti-competitive. We're gonna sell this off to private companies.
Oh my god. This is what Germany did, except not quite. They like use taxpayer money to like you have basically the post build the internet. And then they gave it to a private corporation for free. And we're like, you're gonna like maintain this, right? You're gonna do maintenance on this and like upgrade it as time goes on. They were like, yeah, totally, we're gonna do that. You're just gonna hold the total monopoly on this now. Cool.
Yeah, the worst part was that you'd think, right, that it would be the right-leaning government that did this.
Yeah.
This was brought up by the Socialist People Party.
Oh my god.
And I'm
Fucking
like,
idiots.
It's their entire playbook. Like, they managed to do so many good things for us, and then they fuck it all up because they go, nah, we don't want to do it anymore.
That is the fucking curse of neoliberalism, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, worms itself into socialism, even.
I know.
For fuck's sake, dude.
But hey, at least it's not like the unit list. Holy crap.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Each time. Hell yeah, baby.
It's like how socialists on Twitter will bend over backwards to prop up Russia just because America bad.
I genuinely hate that shit.
Yeah, they wanted to the Ukraine wanted to join NATO, and that, like, ideologically is active American imperialism, and that sort of is a symbolic support for that, so they deserve to be genocided now.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Not gonna lie.
That's how it works, dude. That's
This might be a semi-lukewarm take, but honestly, like, online lefties piss me off the most. And I say this as a lefty.
The problem with this is people say like this is just an online problem. I have met people like this IRL, and like not just few of them.
Yeah.
Like these are the people who are going into politics. Like these are the people who are part of leftist organized. Like most people are leftists, I think, in Europe at least. They're not insane, but the people who actually go into leftist politics are all like this.
Can I just say though, I think we shouldn't have politicians. This is a pretty radical idea I have, but we shouldn't have politicians as a job, like as a university application. Like you shouldn't be able to go
that
into
doesn't
politics.
exist.
Yeah,
No,
there's
but
no like
there's
university
like political studies and
Yeah,
whatnot.
but no, but that is understanding politics. The most politicians are not political scientists. Most politicians are lawyers.
Okay,
Yeah.
Like, if you
Change it
study
around,
political
or
science,
you
you're probably
have-
not going to become a politician.
I mean, them
No,
being
change it
lawyers
around.
explains a lot because politicians are pretty much universally evil at this point.
Yeah, if you
No,
there
change-
should be more
change-
people who studied political science who are in politics.
Yeah, no, if that's the case, yeah, make it a requirement for politics to be on your visa to be a politician.
No, but well, excuse me, but what about this the trucker who couldn't afford to go to university, now not able to represent the people?
Ah, fuck.
Are
Yeah,
they
no,
not
you're
allowed
right.
to vote for him?
No, but I mean, as a politician, though.
Yeah.
As a politician, you shouldn't be able to run for politics unless you...
But then that's exactly the point, though. Now the trucker can't run for politics because he doesn't have a privileged university education.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I have
Which is
less
the
of a
problem.
problem with that and more that politicians have become less and less public servants. That's more my
Yeah, the
issue.
problem is the fucking special interests in lobbying. You need to get money out of politics.
I mean, they're pretty much landed nobility at this point.
Yeah.
Which,
No, all we found out here
upsets
is
me.
that all we found out here is that Paul's just trying to undermine my campaign to run for governor of South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Freaking
I mean,
cringe.
granted, I
Yes,
have
fuck
a-
you, Em.
Garden community. Englishman.
It's like,
What is this trucker?
view-
What is this talk of a trucker becoming politician?
Well, it will be a lorry driver, isn't it?
Working class.
Just imagine I'm Polish, or
The
Russian.
absolute goal of this person.
That would be sick.
Iga.
To have a Polish lorry driver be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
That would be base.
I mean, if
also,
you
can
wanted
I
to
just say, fuck the current Labour opposition party. Fuck them. Fuck them right hard in the ass. They're fucking...
See, people always
I
say
fucking
this
hate them.
about Labour
No.
parties
So I was
in
okay
the
with
Anglosphere, but
Corbyn.
they're
I was
actually kind of based.
No.
So
No, not this one. Not this one. This is Blairite. These are Blairites, and if you know anything about Tony Blair, you fucking hate him with a passion.
what does that mean?
I do not like Keir Starmer at all. I do
That's
not.
some cool music.
Oh, that's from Leveling Up.
Nice. I like they fucking the Australia Labour won, and they're doing a coalition apparently with the Greens, which honestly, that's alright. I like that.
I mean, I don't think the Greens are that cringe for Australia because most
Most Green
Sometimes
parties are kind of
Greens,
cringe,
yeah.
but
Yeah. Wait, wasn't it once one of the cantons in Switzerland, like Greens won the entire canton by like a large majority?
the
I remember reading this.
Yeah, I
somewhere.
mean there's states in Germany that are run by Greens too. So
As
Yeah,
far
but,
as I
like-
know about the Australian Greens, they're very much aligned with Labour on most things, but just with a more environmental bent to it.
yeah.
Which is good,
Oh,
considering
so-
Australia needs that right now.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
The problem is that,
the
like-
Greens are.
Yeah, go ahead, please do talk.
I was about to say the Greens are basically the anti-China party, then, because isn't most of Australia's like environmental woes because of deals with China?
I don't know.
I know that China owns like a lot of the mines over in Australia right now, and there is like some like instability over that, like big political instability. I think.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
I remember a couple of years ago where the whole thing that the Australian Liberal Party were going on was they're hard on China, and it's like
Hard on
you're-
China.
you're going hard on China by allowing them to basically take over all your metal mines in the northern
Yeah.
part of Australia.
Oh, don't forget!
And-
Don't forget
and
they
you're-
committed.
And you allow them to poison the Great Barrier Reef as well.
That's the
Yeah.
that's the conservative
forget the-
playbook. It's the same shit with like,
That-
oh, we need to be hard on government debt. They don't
Oh.
do it. They just make worse
Yeah.
debt than every
so I don't
Labour
know-
government.
So I don't know if you know what's some of the current policies that are going around, but there's a current policy that is going to a lot of people, especially like political theorists and not necessarily think tanks. What's the other thing other than think tanks? Watchdogs. That's the one.
Yeah.
Like a lot of free speech watchdogs, like legitimate ones, are saying you can't do this. This is going to like curb some free speech quite a lot. For
Wait,
Britain.
what
Like,
can't
you-
they do?
So, Tories are currently trying to pass a bill, or whatever it is that's the equivalent of a bill over here, which is going to, like, it's supposed to be this, like, online filter, which
Yeah.
we've had, like, multiple times at this point. I think it's, like, version 15,
Dude,
I think. I might be wrong.
Kashi,
but-
are you jacking off in the game? Is that?
Yes, I'm
It really
jacking
looks
off.
like it.
No,
But-
I'm
so-
reading skill books.
Oh yeah, that's a great thing. But so the thing is, they are currently, how to put this? They are currently proposing like different kind of tiers of what can be considered like harmful content. So one of them is like pure like banned content, like you
Yeah.
do not show that. The terminology, even though like I understand laws are vague for a reason, but here it's like super vague, like as most like free
I mean, yeah,
speech.
it's the UK nanny state, dude. I am not surprised
Yeah.
by this at all.
And so there's a second tier. The second tier is the most worrying because it's technically speaking not illegal, but harmful.
Harmful to whom?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the entire point. It's like harmful to who though? And
Yeah.
guess who agrees with the conservatives on this? The leader of the opposition party, Keir Starmer.
Oh my
And he says like,
God.
yeah, no. He's not like, yeah, I'll concede the point. He's like, yeah, I fully support this.
God damn it. This is exactly the. I'm not even. This isn't like a commentary on Keir Starmer or like UK.
No,
Labour.
because Keir
But
Starmer is a fucking Blairite. Blairites are like Tories, but slightly left wing.
Yeah. So a lot of this is I think why a lot of left wing is a pro censorship. It's the same counter revolutionary bullshit. Going, oh, but we need to fight against the counter revolutionaries, and therefore we need to now establish systems that will completely make us unable to literally achieve anything. It's just fucking insane.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously it's the UK nanny state. It's the fucking Tories. This was going to happen.
Yeah.
Talking of
That's live up to my name there. Make some sneak and put some birds in the oven.
So there was
Gotcha.
the EU also wanted to introduce a new filtering system where they basically would have to like check chats even like
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't say in the letter of the law that you have to create like filter systems and like block encryption on your messaging services. In fact, it very explicitly excludes that. But that is factually what would be necessary for like, to protect children from child pornography, right?
Yeah, of
And
course.
even the organization that's like, we fight against like child abuse, we need to protect children from child abuse. Even they were like, yeah, well, like we like aspects of this law, but the whole thing where you like give the state authorization to literally just bypass all encryption in like private communication between people online, We don't think that's necessary, and we also think that's not like a worthwhile sacrifice, given that it literally contributes nothing to any investigation. It's like, you know how many terror attacks have been stopped by mass surveillance in like the 30 years we've had widespread mass surveillance?
Like a tiny percentage of
None.
a tiny percentage.
Not a single one. Never at any point has that happened anywhere. That is how ineffective this is. 100% of terror attacks that have been thwarted with old-fashioned police tactics and like court-ordered wiretaps that have been legal since the 60s.
Based.
That is how insane that is.
Extremely based. Just incredibly
Over
based.
here, most of us want the NSA dead, unfortunately. But we don't get that just yet.
Yeah,
No,
unfortunately not.
isn't it like the best way to catch like pedophiles and child sex trafficking is to like literally for like multiple like police agencies to set up like honeypots and stuff and to lure
It's active monitoring, yeah.
Almost
you have
entrapment.
to lure them out. It's
There should be laws against that though. I fucking hate entrapment because
Entrapment is illegal. But
entrapment is illegal.
It's not. They can't. If you entrap someone, you can't. Like, entrapment literally is like, yeah, well, he killed a guy, but the cops made him do it, so you can't send him to prison for it.
I forget, is online communication, like, covered under entrapment laws? Or is that also an illegal gray area, like much of online stuff is?
Entrapment is not about the means of communication, but about the fact that the manipulation happened.
Okay.
It might be different in different areas, but like this is how it works in most places.
All right.
It's like how the FBI like designed a special kind of smartphone as like a burner phone that you don't need to like throw away, and that like it was like had like high tech security, encryption, and everything.
The Freedom phone?
No, not the Freedom phone. This was actually I don't. The Freedom phone's just like a cheap Chinese Alibaba phone with a theme package on it. But like no, the FBI phone. Yeah, they set up a whole front company, and they designed this phone and advertised it like on the dark web to like drug deal to like cartels and stuff like that. And like with enhanced encryption, security, all this stuff, and it just and they sold it to them and it worked, but the only thing was the FBI had all the encryption keys and had a back door, so they could literally nobody else could look at it other than the recipients and the FBI.
Yeah.
And they caught like a bunch of like cartel members like up in California and in Texas.
Yeah.
And I think that would be entrapment as well, right?
No, because they didn't. This is like a wiretap. Because it's not like the FBI like they didn't like give them the drugs and were like, oh, how about you sell some of this? It's like they were just listening to them, which you could argue is like legally a bit of a gray area in terms of like whether they were allowed to collect evidence that way. But clearly they were. Clearly the judges decided it was this way. It's definitely not entrapment.
Yeah, it's basically
all
the
right.
equivalent of giving, like, I don't know, say, a political extremist a microphone that has a wiretap in it, so you can specifically listen for them, like, planning domestic terrorism or something. Like, technically it's a wiretap, but at the same time, it's in a weird fucking area.
Yeah, but then it's a wire, and you're only, like, I'm pretty sure they, like, instruct them not to introduce like any ideas, but to just get the people to talk about
Yeah,
the shit
that's
that
what I
they're
mean.
already planning.
giving them a microphone with like a bug in it or something.
Yeah, there's like various different levels of evidence gathering. But the point is, like, this is the kind of shit that actually catches bad guys, and mass surveillance does not. And never has. And yet they keep pushing for it. The German Constitutional Court has once again said, no, you actually cannot just collect the communications metadata of everyone all the time. It's not legal for you to do that. Stop doing it. And, you know, I mean, maybe this time, because we have a traffic light coalition government, they won't try to get that going again. But,
well, in the infrastructure you need just for that level of censorship is just crazy, because it's like you're gonna need like people to. Well, you're not gonna have people watching over each individual chat room. You're gonna have an
they
AI.
just collect the metadata of everything.
Yeah,
and they actually they tried to implement this 3 times, and every time the Constitutional Court was like, no. You can't. You're not allowed to do this.
Bad idea.
Over 16 years of conservative government, and now it seems as though, even though this chat surveillance thing was sort of co-sponsored by the German Interior Minister, she was a big advocate for it. Who unfortunately is a Labour politician, but like all of the leading Labour people. Like, of course, the most corrupt people that they could find in Labour. But now she is one of the... She's like, oh, no, actually, we can't do it. And I'm not sure why that is. Like, she very big time changed her mind on this. I'm happy that she did, because now, if, like, Germany is against it, it's not gonna happen in the EU.
Yeah, that's good.
Isn't happening.
Yeah, that's a good thing at least.
Yeah.
You know, what's the crazy thing is that I guess that Platinum Jubilee is going on over in the UK. Because the Queen,
we talked about this earlier a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. People stormed during the troop marching.
What do you mean people
Apparently.
stormed?
People stormed the entire. Some people stormed the event while the troops were, parading.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so what did they do? What did they like? They stormed and then.
Oh, they just stormed around, but they got stopped by police.
They
didn't have a message. They didn't have a message.
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Like
Are they just hooligans?
Are they streaking?
No football. Like the no football's going on, so they had to go cause a ruckus somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Come on, England!
It's really weird that's like a thing that's happening. Galampire the Masquerade, dude. That is a good one. That's
a based one.
Well, like earlier today, I was in a truck stop, and they had like one of the TVs was on. It was tuned to, I think, Fox News, and they were showing like various events of the Platinum Jubilee.
Yeah.
And there was like 6 people around the TV just like intently watching it, and it's just I never understand like why there's a portion of Americans who are so obsessed with like British royalty.
Oh, dude, I said you probably weren't here. The German news did a segment on this yesterday, where they had like they basically had like when they sometimes talk to people, and they were like camping out at the Thames. And one of them was like a British woman who was like, oh, yes, so 70 years of service, and she's done it very well.
Yeah.
And then the second one was actually an American. And she was like, yeah, we're just trying to hang out here, and we're trying to, if there's a lot of people here, she's going to feel the warmth. And I'm like, you don't understand how British people work. Like, I'm sorry. But, and this woman was, like, camping out early yesterday just to see the Queen on a ship today.
Well, it's like, yeah, when the princes were having their kids, like Prince Harry and the other guy, it's like when that happened, it was like 24/7 news
It's like
coverage
the
over
fucking
here.
royal wedding was bigger than the Olympics, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
it's just two people getting married, like.
And it's like I wonder what, because it seems like it seems like Americans care more about it than like actual British people, and it's just like, didn't we fight a war over this?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck are you like? Why are you like this?
It's because we get all of the novelty without having to deal with any of their bullshit.
There's a mysticism to, like, that's why the UK is still a monarchy, because there's a mysticism to the concept of the monarchy.
Oh yeah, I think the only reason that the royal family still exists is because there is profit and prestige in having them.
Well, not
around.
just that, but like there's a lot of it creates a very complex tapestry of social rules, especially in terms of political legitimacy. I mean, this is basically how the City of London functions as a tax haven within London.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
City of
it's
London
a big tax
versus-
haven here, especially
And
for
the Queen
Russian
is not
Yeah.
allowed to go there without their permission. Like, it's so fucking weird. Like, you know, the Queen is not allowed to enter the House of Commons. Like, the Queen cannot enter the House of Commons.
Isn't there like a whole thing if like the House of Lords or somebody wants to speak with the House of Commons, they have to get a representative to actually like knock on the door, bang on the door with
There's
a
so
scepter.
much ceremony. There's so much ceremony. And the Queen can't enter the House of Commons at any point. She's not allowed to do that. She's the leader of the House of Lords. Yeah. Also the Speaker. I don't know if it's some rank where, like, she basically sits in, like, the hall that they are in, opposite the guy who shouts order in the House of Commons.
Oh yeah, that guy. That cunt.
I mean, it's a different person, I think, at this point, but yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm also not allowed in the House of Commons.
You might be allowed in the House of Commons. You just can't wear armor.
I mean, technically,
you would think that.
Not anymore.
But is it true that the City of London is within? Is that literally what the old Londinium was? Like the city limits of the City of London, is that the original layout?
I don't know. I think it was created. No, I think it was created way later as like a tax haven. It's literally just created so rich people could do rich people things.
Yeah, because Boudica, like, there's actually like a layer of ash from when Boudica burned it to the fucking ground.
Oh yeah,
They feel like
for sure.
But it's fucking crazy that I, as like a tourist, can just like go there and like no one gives a shit. Because it's like, you don't really, unless you know what to look for, you don't really know like where London ends and where the City of London begins. But the Queen can't do
you
it.
have to look at like
There's like lions and shit.
Like,
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's actually like really small too.
Yeah.
Or no, it's only like a city block or two.
Yeah, I mean, they just need a few skyscrapers and ancient guild halls. That's all that you need to be a fucking neoliberal and conservative hellhole.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely a neoliberal.
Oh, did you know that the Tories are trying to rejoin the EU single market?
Bro, that's
I'm
funny.
sorry, who?
Yeah,
What?
I thought they.
They're not trying to rejoin the EU. They just want to rejoin the single market. So basically, what they want is they want the neoliberalism aspects of the EU without all the consumer protection and democracy.
So they basically want...
LMAO.
They want only the bad parts of being in the EU. That's such a fucking Tory thing.
Yes, it is.
So basically, they just want to be the United States.
No.
Wait,
No, it sounds like
United
they want to be
States
more
have-
like Norway. They
Well,
want to be
Norway
like
at least
Switzerland
isn't,
or Norway.
Norway at least is Norway and not the UK.
Yeah, Norway's cool.
But like one of the like as literally everyone said would happen, Brexit has wreaked massive economic havoc on the UK. And now that
bad
rich
is-
people are also noticing this in like a few zeros missing in their completely abstract bank statements, they're like, "Oh no, we have to do something about this."
How bad is like the economy over in Germany?
The economy is fine.
Like for the EU as a whole, in this whole kind of drama of, you know, like the economy is going to shambles in different countries.
It's not. The Germany is the strongest economy in all of the EU, by like a significant margin.
Hey, you know, talking of like the whole EU thing, right? This was a theory that I've been discussing with a few people, and like, it's an interesting concept. It's that, like, we all know that the American Empire is on the verge of collapse. Like, it's going to happen eventually.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who knows?
The thing that I was interested in was seeing what becomes of the United States as a federal entity after that. And one possibility I keep bringing up is the idea of the federal entity of the United States collapsing and being replaced with something akin to basically an EU, but all of the states of the U.S. become their own independent nation state.
Yeah, but what's gonna happen
Well,
before that is that you're
you're
gonna
not
have
gonna have-
nukes that you shoot at each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I'm just saying it's an interesting possibility.
Oh god,
Yeah.
war dogs are fucking trash in this game.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I know I harp on not
It's
my own
like
state.
5 people talking and roboting out at the same time. Maybe I should add my voice to this to make it even worse.
Pretty wild, man.
Dude, I.
Well, it's
I
like
fucking bought-
you're not.
Hell yeah, dude.
There we
I
go.
bought war dogs as a unit just for like filler, like for filling out my army. It is the trashiest unit in the entire game. Apart
What is
from,
this?
you know-
Where did this come from? What are we talking about now?
I don't know, but I'm just feeling
Yeah,
like
I thought we were
I
talking about
what do you
feel
mean you
like-
don't know?
Jesus.
What
Like
do you mean you don't know? You're talking about it.
I'm talking about my game. So I bought a trash tier unit just to fill out my army. It has got the most kills in this entire battle compared
Yeah.
to every single other unit in either of my two armies.
Is it because the majority of the army
A
is
fast-
composed of this unit?
No, the majority of my army is composed of like absolute god tier units for this faction. This unit has managed to get 1,219 kills. I love it.
That's not bad. Did you hear the new Neil deGrasse Tyson movie take? He had a really you know
No,
how
I
he always
don't-
has
I don't
very
listen
good
to that
takes on
fucking
movies.
idiots.
He has this one.
Yeah, yeah.
The new film Top Gun Maverick depicts characters flying through the air in metal aeroplanes, something that anyone with a rudimentary understanding of physics would know is impossible, as metal is heavier than air. And I think that that's really something we should be thinking about.
Steel is
Well, I
heavier
mean,
than
as you know, Burger, the concept of like automobiles simply isn't true, because if a human goes more than 30 miles an hour, their lungs collapse.
I love this about like people who, when you talk about like futurism, oh well, this is impossible and this will never happen. It's like, holy shit, are you driving a tank?
No, it's a. I mean, it's a military vehicle,
Yeah,
but it's not a
look.
tank.
Everything that is a military vehicle to me is a tank.
I mean, fair. Probably is fairly heavily armored.
Just like how to a liberal, every rifle is either an AR-15 or an AK-47.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I saying?
Futurism.
Yeah, when people like, oh, this is completely, or this is never going to happen. It's like, you fucking, like, they fucking 50 years ago, 40 years ago, there were guys saying, oh, maybe there will be like 3 computers in the whole entire world. It's like, and these were experts on computer shit. These were like computer scientists. Like, so never say that something isn't going to happen. You just don't know.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel when it comes to stuff with FTL and stuff. It's like, right now.
No, that's never going to happen. Actually, that's impossible.
Yeah, no, FTL's not going to happen, bro.
That one specifically.
But everybody always says that. And it's no, we'll never get FTL, but we'll figure out a way to cheat.
There might be. It's entirely possible that that'll happen. What I find much more funny about like FTL is that people are much more willing to accept the notion of FTL being a thing that we achieve in like the near to mid future. Even though it is, like, conceptually, within what we understand about physics, literally not possible. But the concept of, like, negligible senescence or biological immortality, they're like, no, that can't be. Even though there's literally life forms on Earth who are negligibly senescent. Like, they exist.
Yeah, I mean, granted, FBR isn't as much of a... Also, you have stuff like FBR, which, while it is a thing and stuff like... in a lot of cyberpunk, you don't see it as much. Like, there's a handful of shit I can remember it being, like, a big thing.
It's not a common trope.
Yeah.
But, like, that's, like, the reason for it, is that it's not a common sci-fi trope, because people are still under the impression that sci-fi's job is to, like, interpret reality, predict the future.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the thing that I see it, I guess the only popular sci-fi work that I've seen FBR brought up in regularly is maybe Ghost in the Shell, but like...
Oh, I've actually been reading into Eclipse Phase a little bit.
I've got Eclipse Phase, but I haven't, like, dipped my feet in yet.
It's kind of cool. It does the whole, I fucking hate this, the Earth is destroyed post-apocalypse thing. It just... it's so you know, I don't like it. It's like they basically have the large parts of the solar system are colonized, but there's only like 500 million people still alive, and it's like, come on, fuck off. But otherwise, conceptually, it's very interesting. It has a lot of interesting politics, and you can like re-sleeve into different bodies and shit. I still want to. I made for an experimental system that a friend of mine had a while ago. I really want to make this character. It's basically, he was born as a dolphin. He's a complete sociopath, but he's in like a human sleeve in a human body, and he's like a killer. And the whole body is he has no hair because he gets like very irritated by the concept of hair, having grown up a dolphin. He's like a mega psycho killer.
I mean, he is a dolphin.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, in this, there's like dolphins that are nice in this. Hypothetically, like.
Are there any other animals that have been raised to human sentience in this?
Yeah, they have parrots, ravens, octopuses, apes. They have Neo-Neanderthals, I think.
I would not mind being an octopus.
That's cool.
And you can even, like, you can sleeve into uplift bodies. Like, even if you were born a human, or, I mean, you can, in this game, you can sleeve into, like, machine bodies, into synthmorphs. You can sleeve into infomorphs, which are just basically, like, cyberspace shells. It's really kind of cool.
Oh, so instead of being sleeved into, like, a robot body, you just get sleeved into a computer tower.
No, you get sleeved into an information construct. Otherwise your ego just gets downloaded to some like information tower anyway, and you can have like copies of yourself and all that whole thing, except it's less regulated like it is in fucking Altered Carbon. So you can, it's like legal to be double and triple sleeved.
So it's like an ANCAP transhumanist future.
See, that's the thing. So there's the core central solar system is very capitalist, and there are ANCAP areas in the outer solar system, but mostly those are like anarchist, socialist communes. But there are ANCAPs there. And then you have the Jovian Republic, which are like return to tradition, basically Nazis. Like, we need to rid the world of everyone who is like sleeved. But then they still use like sleeved soldiers because of course they do. They can't get that. They can't like lose that tactical
They want to
advantage.
circumcise everyone.
Yeah. There's the Jovian.
I've always had this idea for not to change subjects a little bit. I've always had this idea for like an alternate history timeline that I actually think I kind of want to work on now, where the Neanderthals of Europe never died out. They never went extinct. They just kind of went up into the mountains, into like the Alps and the Pyrenees. Basically, they just moved away from human settlements. And they lived on in the modern times, but now they have like within the EU they have like a reservation system, like in the Swiss Alps, in the Pyrenees, just away from like in just how and they're not like sci-fi Neanderthals. They're not like a super advanced bullshit. They're literally Neanderthals. They're humans who are different species. They don't have any concept of religion, though they do practice ancestor worship and burial. And it kind of it's just kind of a thought I had of like, how would Europe deal with like comparing how Europe would deal with a native population versus like how the United States dealt with the Native Americans.
Wow.
I mean, that's a very neat concept, but like, have you been to like Switzerland ever? Basically that's what you're describing. Like,
yeah. Don't forget like Italy, Austria, and parts of the Are we talking also Carpathian Mountains, like Romania and whatnot?
Basically, Homo sapiens moved into all the like fertile areas and just pushed the Neanderthals further and further away from them. So like Black Forest, Pyrenees, Alps.
Well, the problem is you would have to enter like all the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th century. I think they would have died out by then.
You could just hand wave it and say,
But my suspension of disbelief, bro.
Then you lack imagination.
Yeah, you're
my suspension of
but
disbelief,
it's entirely reasonable that this might have happened. You just have to make a few allowances for it and think about how it might have happened.
Well, I mean, you can interpret it like in regards to the rise of, like in regards to like the Romans, it's like they just sometimes they fight them, but most of the times if like the Neanderthals don't get in their way, they don't do anything about them. And then like with the Christians, you could have some try to proselytize to them.
It would be a different world. It would be a very different world. But anyway, I have to end the stream. I still have to pack my bags because I'm leaving early tomorrow. It's been real ritual. I will see you around. I'm gonna end the stream. And the same here. I have to